everyone to refresh. I have to say, it's hard to believe, but we have welcomed you and reminded us all that this is the time to connect, be inspired, and learn something new, and ultimately feel a bit better about ourselves. And this time we spend together 100 times. Yes, I know, amazing, right? Yes, time flies when you're having fun, meeting and having conversations with such good, smart, and engaged people. And we have had amazing people. And we're going to revisit some of the great little nuggets of learning and fun that we've had with them over the years. I was just talking to Jamie and Lakisha before you all joined us. And it's interesting because essentially refresh is like a historical record. It documents where we've been and how we've been thinking and what we've been talking about over a period now of several years and through a time that's been very challenging. I tell you, bringing Generation W community together has been amazing. And I want to publicly thank, before you ever see anything today, the producer who takes such pride, cares so much, and does such great work, Sherry Levin. Sherry, I was going to tell you, pop on, because she leads us all in becoming refreshed. And Sherry, I hope today some people will just send you some love notes of gratitude and recognition because you are so deserving. This doesn't happen without you. So thank you. Sherry wanted me to tell you a quick note about how all this happened. We launched Generation W back in 2012. And, consistently we got the same kind of feedback about how Generation W made people feel. It made it felt inspired and motivated and they could take on the world. And I didn't know that, or I didn't even know I needed to know that. And they felt connection and being uplifted and their confidence was boosted. And we knew we didn't want it to be a one-time thing, although, listen, you get a shot of that, as my friend Christine Norman would always say. That's pretty good. I'll take it. But we wanted to do more. And so it took us a little while to figure that out. And ultimately said, what do we do well? Well, essentially what we think we do is we lift people's spirits. We provide refreshment, a refresh like a spa for your total being. And a time, as we say every show, to be connected, inspired, to learn something new, like I just said when I said hello. So we started Refresh as an in-person activity. About 100 people, like we always do, all ages, all sizes, all colors, all everything, to talk about, things we wanted to talk about. And our first theme was transformation. And of course, we had great clips of our wonderful, very inspiring Dr. Edith Eger. And it proved to be such a hit. People laughed, people cried, people left refreshed. And it took all the best part of Generation W and allowed us to bring it to groups. Well, of course, that lasted for one in person and then COVID hit. And so we immediately pivoted, and Refresh turned into a virtual experience. But it turned out to be an incredible, if you will, town square. We were all so needy for each other, for connectedness. As we remember, we didn't have that. And we had wonderful people to come on and hold our hands, hold our hearts as we shepherded through so many challenging issues together. And we felt comforted and we felt refreshed. So there you have it. Now we have, we've done this 100 times. I like to think we get better every single time. I know you all get better every single time. And I'm hoping that you'll share your thoughts with us today. We have great guests to join us with all of the guests that Sherry has decided she's going to reprise for us. But two special three-peaters, although Jamie, we were counting, you might be a four-peater. And as I was writing this, I wrote that three heaters, I just couldn't get the words right. Three-peaters. Jamie Olken, all of you should be able to recite this by now. More than 25 years of private practice as a psychotherapist and life coach. She's our go-to expert on mental health, a popular topic of interest. And Jamie always brings the perspective, always brings the insights, warm, engaging, and practical learning. And hi, Jamie.
Hi, Donna. I can't believe it's 100. Yeah. I cannot believe this is 100 refreshes. That's incredible that we have been together so long. And Lakisha, hi. One of the greatest parts of this is Lakisha and I know each other, and we are social media friends. We are driving the convertible friends, and this is what Generation W.
You have to do that more.
Bring us together.
Yeah, we're gonna have to come up. Well, let me just tell you, Lakisha, for those of you who don't know, it was at 24 or 25, Lakisha, because you only look like you're 25, but
24.
All right, 24 years she served in the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
Yeah.
Made us proud. She rose to an assistant lieutenant. She ran for sheriff. And she brought all of us out in support of her candidacy. She's a devoted and active community contributor whose life experiences provides ongoing lessons for us all. Two very special guests. And what they have in common, which I share with them again, is they are part of two of the greatest bloopers. My favorite bloopers. Every time I see them, I laugh out loud, and we'll get to see them a little bit later on. So there you have it. Welcome everyone to Refresh 100, the only show ever to be named as such. Sherry, would you like to add one comment in here before we talk a little bit more about this?
I just like to say thank you first to Lakisha and Jamie for being on. And Donna, you have guided us through every show with grace and with professionalism and amazing nuggets that we have. I think it's been an inspiration. I get to watch every minute of every show, so I've been the luckiest.
Oh, Sherry. Oh my God, how nice is that?
I'll piggyback off that for you and Sherry, Donna. You see that? This is for you. They say give credit where credit is due. Can y'all see that flower?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yes, that's for you. So you've had a great track record. So it was a no-brainer to follow you and participate in Refresh.
Yeah, it's really been kind of remarkable. I mean, Trish Melly's here. I mean, there's names here that have been with us for so long in all different capacities. And I think one of the things we really take pride in is bringing great people who we otherwise wouldn't get to talk to and with, right? Everybody's excited. And we've had, Mayo docs, and we'll see a couple of them today. And people have the opportunity to ask or get in touch with them and ask personal questions. And so I feel like that's what community and service is all about. And you two are at the forefront of that, for sure. Jamie, did you want to say something?
Looking at all the participants, I can't believe how many people I have a relationship with that I met when I would have never had that opportunity that I met from Generation W. It's really incredible. I mean, I speak to these people regularly, and that my darling daughter is participating just warms my heart. So I love that.
It warms my heart too. So let's go. Let's take a little walk down memory lane, and all of us talk about this. Okay, so our very first show. It's in the now it's in the height of COVID. I don't want to bring back those memories because they were so dark and we were so afraid. So we figured, what should we do? Let's open with comedy. Let's make people laugh. And so we had Heidi Hanna, who actually, I keep this on my desk. I don't know, for those of you who've seen Heidi at Generation W a couple of times, one year she gave us these. So it's right there on my desk. And then we had Michelle Galis, who at the time was the president of Comedy Central. And I'm happy to report that our friend Michelle Galis was just recently, last week, named as the new CEO and president of Comic Relief. So I'll have to have her back because we're going to need some more comic relief. So Sherry, I'll leave it to you.
Well, Donna, I just want to preface this with, in our office, we tried to make humor as well part of our days. And this is kind of what came up from one of our colleagues, Tara, who came in and said, oh my God, my kids came running in saying the toilet was smoking.
Of course, comedy is about timing, but this is Zoom comedy, so I appreciate it. I appreciate your patience. And this is what she finds. Where's Sherry? Okay, no, not that one. She didn't find the dogs. She found, by the way, this is what makes good comedians and good technology appreciate it. This is funny, Sherry, actually. There it is!
Okay, like, you know what, we're very user friendly here. All right, so now moving along. Thank you, Sherry, I appreciate that. We really tackled difficult topics around social awareness and social justice. Obviously, Lakisha Burton, at the time, the JSO assistant chief and former candidate for sheriff. She was with us many, many times. She was a regular guest along with young social activists, even Mayor Shelley Brindle of Westfield, New Jersey. First mayor in their history joined us. And so we tried to track what was going on in the world and the kind of things. Ita Ekbadam, one of our venture capitalists, and Lisa Shallett, co-founder of Extraordinary Women on Board, shared their knowledge about women in business and work. And we shifted our focus to the political climate in 20. We don't do politics. We don't. It's not what we need to do or what we want to do. But in 2020, Dr. Tanya Israel, a professor of counseling psychology at UCSB, joined us for the first time. She's been back since. because her expertise was negotiating through and having challenging conversations. Never easy. So we asked, what if we just can't get there? What do we do?
It's absolutely okay to not have these conversations. And if that's the only thing we know how to do, if we only know how to move away from and set boundaries, then we're not actually in a very empowered situation. What's much better is if we have the skills and feel some confidence in being able to have the conversations, and we have the skills and confidence in being able to remove ourselves from those conversations when we want. And then we have the ability to make that choice and decide in any given situation, do I have the energy to do that? Is this going to help to achieve the goals that I have? So really having that flexibility, but that does mean being able to do either one and then being able to make a choice.
All right, guys, what do you think about that? It still resonates, eh? Right?
I think she's right on. I think sometimes we just don't have the ability or the energy, and we have to decide, is it worth to tackle it? And if it is, then we got to go for it.
Yeah, right. And we did have her come back, I think, recently again. I think she wrote another book on this issue. But it's great to have a resource like Tanya. Anybody in our chat, please feel free to write any comments, as you know. We would love to hear from you and include them. And thank you, Trish. It is magic. It is beautiful magic to uplift each other. It is. It's like, yes, I can't think of something that's more purposeful or more helpful. We've also talked a lot about women's health, both physical and mental. Obviously, Jamie is one of our big experts that we always tap into. But we also have a wonderful, wonderful relationship with the Mayo Clinic. And through that relationship, we got to meet with an amazing woman who actually you will get to see this year on Generation W, Dr. Donna Orender. Her personal journey is an amazing story. It's an incredible lesson in optimism, which is how we're going to open our show this year. And she recommended how we deal with stress because it's really a great teacher.
Stress actually can be a teacher of life, and we know that you can find meaning from stressful events. There's been research studies that have shown that individuals who have more stressful life events actually are more likely to rate their life as meaningful than people that didn't have stressful events. And there's another interesting concept with the brain, and I love this, is we can really learn and grow from stress. So if you have a stressful event or healthcare adversity, you can go down that path of post-traumatic stress disorder, but you don't have to succumb to that disease. You can go down a different path of post-traumatic growth. And so this comes from this theory that anytime you have a stressful event, there's a little imprint that's put into your brain about how that stress was. So the next stressful event comes on, it gets a little easier to accept that stress.
Wow, right?
She's an incredible person, Donna. How are we having her? She was so incredible last year. And I walked out of there beaming, and I couldn't believe her stories and how helpful she was to not only me, everyone in the room. We were like kumbaya together. She is wonderful.
Well, just hearing that right now, how stress, what she said, you grow and learn from stress. Oh my goodness. It really puts things in perspective when we're going through things, to really look at what the lesson and the growth that's going to take place.
Yeah, she is amazing. She did a workshop for us, and we always thought that we wanted to bring her on the main stage this year, Generation W's Explore. And so we're going to explore optimism right out of the box, right? Do we not need it? And let me ask you this, our folks, our community here, are we feeling more stress, same stress, less stress? Just curious, as an overarching kind of theme. What about you, Lakisha? Are you feeling more stress, less stress, same stress these days?
I think it comes in, waves, so that's why I really take things day to day, really. So and honestly, all of the techniques and advice that we've learned through Refresh over the last 100 episodes, I didn't just come to listen. I came to listen and take back those tools to be a better me. And so I think it comes in waves.
Yep. Less stress for Andrea. Oh, she's got to tell us about that. She's doing great work in our community. What about you, Jamie?
I
You're up
think
in New
that
York. You're up in New York. It's cold. That's stressful.
I think well, I like that stress. So I kind of divide it into a lot of different categories. Some stress motivates me and gets me to do things and gets me to take care of myself and to take care of people and to do my thing. Some stress is terrible for me and I work very hard to let that go. So I always try to find the balance of what stress is good and I hold on to, and what the stress is definitely not good for me and I've got to get rid of it.
Well, I think that's really great. And you also, Jamie, just to note for everybody, you did the show Feel Good by Doing Good. And that was about a real actionable way to reduce stress, which is when doing good things for other people, right?
But if you remember, Donna, the opening line of that was, we have no idea what we're doing. It was the start of COVID and we were all winging it and we had no idea. We depended on the community. We depended on Refresh. We depended on as many people. I'm looking at this list. I cannot believe how many people I speak to get support and to give support to. So, you know, I think the whole message about connection and community remains.
Right, without a doubt, without a doubt. By the way, in talking about connection, Lakisha and I went to a press conference on Monday. Was it Monday? Yeah, Monday. And we're walking around and everyone goes, well, who are you? And she said, well, I'm Donna's probation officer, which sounded really funny, except it wasn't funny because everybody believed her. Sorry about that. Moving right along here. Moving right along. All right, Sherry, where are we going next? Oh, many of our guests highlighted the individuals who supported them on their journeys. So we do a lot of work at Generation W about mentorship. It's not only mentorship from our wow girls to our adult mentors, right? The future leaders to the current leaders, like tomorrow's, what do we say? The leaders of tomorrow to the leaders of today. But it's also amongst each other, right? There's times where Jamie will mentor me and Lakisha may do the same thing. I may do that for her. And I'm looking through the list there. It's just a beautiful relationship. But we were very fortunate to meet Dr. Odenita. And she is a distinguished prostate cancer scientist and global health equity researcher at the Mayo. And she talked about pulling other people up.
We need to stand on the shoulders of those who are before us. I think a lot of things that we have done is because of people who pull us up to be where we are. And that is very critical. And so it is very important for me that we need to pull other people up as well. And the idea of mentoring and the idea of people who are going to replace us is so critical. Every time in my mind, every day that I wake up, I have to ask myself, who else can I pull up?
Right? She spends a lot of time researching the world. Of course, right now, how we're going to be supporting the world as an entity. It doesn't stop any one of us from, engaging personally or with organizations and groups that we want. But her work to make sure that there is health opportunities for people who otherwise wouldn't have them is really inspiring. I don't know here. Ita, my sense is she's a country woman, and there was all these incredible Nigerian women who are brilliant, doing amazing work on behalf of all of us across the world. But I remember being stunned by her commitment, right, to a greater cause, right?
Did you see what Ita said?
We are everywhere. Yes. And you know what, Ita? Thank you so much for that. I am so glad that you are. I am so glad that you are. All righty. Oh, of course. Another one of our, listen, everyone's our favorite. So I don't know. I just I feel filled with love and I feel fortunate, but it was Leah Jewell. Leah Jewell, we met through another one of our friends, Melinda Wolf, who at the time was working at an international education company. And she was the first one who told us that robots would take over our jobs. And then COVID made us think about the world around us and the changes that came about from COVID. Isn't it funny how deeply we learned those lessons? Maybe not everybody so deeply. And then all of a sudden, where are they? But according to a study by Boston College at the time, I think we were really, really worried because of the incredible impact that COVID had on women, that women's numbers in the workforce were going to drop dramatically. It was almost this behind the scenes hysteria that moved to front stage. And now, guess what? The numbers are bigger than they ever have. They ever have been. So there you go. You just never really know. But when we talked about returning to the workforce, Pamela Culpepper, again, one of her OGs, a Generation W OG, she had some things to talk about leadership development and human sustainability.
Let's talk about the line that should be crossed. And the line that I think should be crossed is that people bring ideas from all over. And in the past, it was hierarchically appropriate to bring forward an idea. Now it's what should we be asking our employees that we have been wrestling with as executives for years that could possibly be a solution within our workforce. So how do we invite people to the table to talk about the things that they think we should and could be doing better in the organization?
Okay, thoughts, you guys?
Every clip you play, I want to hear more and more. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know. I was telling Shirley, we can't make them that long, but if
Right.
anybody wants to hear, let me just put this out there. If anyone wants to hear, first of all of these are from prior refreshes. So this is a good way for you to know that you can go into the archive, pull them out and listen to them, because they're really helpful. And I feel like they're very, what do you say when they're always relevant, more or less. I mean, they do pick up a period of time, but there's a lot of relevancy, right? It reminds me also how much I miss Pamela Culpepper. There you go, right? We've worked with speakers, authors, visionaries, all interested in trying to make a difference, leave their impact on the world. Recently, we had Ivy Watts. I think many of you might have been there. She talked about self-care. Tina Lifford, our actress, I love Tina. She most recently starred as Auntie Vi, one of the most engaging, charismatic characters in the Queen Sugar series, created by Oprah Winfrey and directed by Ava DuVernay. And I'll never forget Tina. We met her, I think, in year 3 of Gen W through another friend, and she fell in love. We fell in love. And she called me one day and said, I got this, I got this job, and I'm just going to tell them that I need these days off to be Gen W. And I could have picked her up, twirled her around and said, I love you, but you're crazy, because who's going to let you do that? And of course they didn't. So there's been a 7-year hiatus, and good for her, because that's how long the series ran. And she'll be back this year on the stage with her work on inner fitness. John Gordon, very, very famous, who does a lot of work on positivity. Deb Levy, also on positivity, out of the Harvard School. Dr. Roya Hakakian, who I actually was in touch with this morning. I think she did that beautiful talk reminding us about how women around the world are fighting for rights. As much as we need to fight here and continue to stand up, there are women who truly are fighting for their physical lives, representing what was going on in the movement in Iran, as women who were not covering their hair were being jailed, and ultimately some of them were being killed. So here we go. Find your passion and destiny. Two great bites, Sherry. I love that you picked these out, by Daphne Jones and Dr. Roya Hakakian.
And I believe our purpose is the intersection between what you're good at and what you have a passion for.
We need to get connected. We need to create a global community by recognizing that our destinies are intertwined.
Our destinies are intertwined. How do people, I'm just curious, how do people feel about that? Are we thinking about our intertwined destinies enough, too much, or just about right? I feel like I'm to 3 little, what's that thing that, is it too hot, too cold, or is it just right? What's that little fairy tale? Was it 3 little pigs or 3 little bears? 3 little pigs. Okay, anyway, what do you think? Are we thinking about it? Yeah. Maria says not enough. Oh, I like this. Denise Ferry says we're each a little, it's a small world. We're all a puzzle piece.
Yeah.
Bara says we need to think about it more. There is a weaving of lives to pay attention to. Thank you, Kathy, Liz and B, Goldilocks. Thank you so much. Of course you knew that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know.
I think Generation W does that for us. I think we are woven together. And I think, whoever said we should spend more time, I agree. I need to spend more time on that. I take all the pieces of the puzzle and I sometimes put them together, but yeah, I'd like to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And we usually have our friend from Ghana. She's usually on, and she's not here today, but we have to find her. But she's always has great ability to shine our focus on other things and what's happening even in Africa, which I always love when she's there. I hope when she sees this, she'll realize that she continues to have an impact with us. Now, as you probably know, for those of you who listen or watch and listen regularly, we always ask our guests to leave us with some nuggets. And I talked to Sherry, we probably should publish these nuggets because they're so great, but we thought we would share some of those nuggets with you today. The first three, Sherry, are we just doing these one by one? All right, Tiffany Welding White, who does now, after being our guest, she is a wonderful sports psychologist, also with an emphasis on positivity, herself being an elite competitive athlete. I love this one because I use it a lot now. Ink it, don't just think it, which means like write it down. It's not about getting a tattoo, although if you want to do that, you can, but it's really about writing something down so it imprints on your brain. Anybody else do that?
You have to as you get older.
I don't know. Every time one of my younger employees doesn't remember everything, I kind of celebrate. What's up with that? All right, and then we have Dr. Balabi. Most recently, she was the performance coach for the Chicago Bulls. She recently stepped out and now has her own practice. It's incredible. Look her up. And she talked about the juggle and the struggle. And she's a mom of young twins, so we all appreciate all the things we're juggling. I'm going to go back. Shari Craven. It's nice to be nice. What do you think about that? I love that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Olenda Johnson, leadership is a team sport. Dr. Olenda, we miss her today. We wish her well. I actually used that as one of my headlines in a talk I gave recently to a company. It is a team sport. And I don't know why Sherry does these things because it's a curveball, so I'll catch it. But when life throws you, who asked me that? I think it was Marla or somebody asked me, when life throws you a curveball, what do? You catch it and throw it back. I mean, what else are you going to do, right? You can't let it hit you in the head. Although sometimes we do that. Anybody else, if you remember any of those hit you guys? Jamie, we should ask you prior to this, or you guys, what you guys said. What were your three things? But I'm not going to do that because, we can't remember our names these days. So,
I'm gonna ink it,
huh?
I'm going to ink it.
Ink it. That's right. You got to write it down. But by the way, I do. I take notes the whole time. All right, let's talk about sports. Everybody knows that's one of my favorite topics as well. And guests like entrepreneurs. Natalie White from Moolah Kicks, the first basketball shoe specifically designed for women by women. I will always remember when this young woman found me when she just had the idea. And it's interesting when you think about when people bring you new ideas, how you react to them, how much you encourage them, how much you can help them. And obviously she got enough help around that she went into production, and there are people with actually athletes, not only collegiate basketball, but on the WNBA floor wearing her sneaks. I'm really proud of her. Kate Johnson, one of my heroines, Olympic rower and Google's global marketing director, sports and entertainment. She has great leadership lessons from her experience of competing and now, of course, leading. And she's leading in a way that is really incredible impact on the marketplace because Google has become one of the very big sponsors of women's sports before, like on the cutting edge before it was popular. They said, we know this is the way to go. And I can promise you that Kate had a fight for proving that. And I think we all owe her a debt of gratitude. Of course, my former teammate and one of the OGs of all time in women's basketball, Annie Myers-Drysdale. She's now the vice president of the Phoenix Suns and Mercury, and she's a broadcaster. She played in the WBL because I played with her. All these women have come to share their knowledge, and I'll also tell you before we get off, who will be with us next week as we celebrate Girls and Women in Sports Day. Let's see, 22, Sherry, we had Susie Whaley, the first woman to be the PGA of America's president, former WNBA player Taj McWilliams-Franklin, and she also sits on our advisory WOW board, and professional surfer Kayla Durden. Wow, we've had a lot of really great sportswomen for good purpose, all right? I really think that's important. So you got a clip here, Sherry, for us? What do you got?
Yeah, I think one is kind of finding someone who's doing what it is you want to do, like seeing what's possible. So seeing like the role you kind of want to be in was what it was for me, like seeing kind of where I wanted to go. But I think it's also being able to help people underneath you. Cause I think when I was coaching girls basketball, that was the one thing I learned, even getting to run Rising Tides, which is our youth program at WSL. It's like, that's the one opportunity I had to like lend a hand, like, hey, how can I help you get up here? And I think, you know, all of us have been professional athletes, but someone was there to help us get there. It was not just, oh, one day I woke up and I was a really good surfer, or like you were in the WNBA or the LPGA. It's like someone helped you get there. And I think surrounding yourself with the right people who are going to help you get there is a really big step. And like, I've had a really good and tight circle.
For all kids, adults, people of all ages, is to just be who you want to see. And I think Susie said that, and Kayla, like, again, I didn't know I was going to be in this spot. I didn't know I was going to be a professional athlete. I dreamt of being a child psychologist to help other kids overcome tragedies in their lives. That's what I wanted to be, and working at FBI and be a Secret Service agent. I never thought basketball would grab me and bring me along for this amazing journey and ride.
Wow. How about, I don't know, how's everybody thinking about women in sports today? I mean, I'll share what we've been up to in case people haven't heard it, but I'm just interested. The numbers around the business, $1.4 billion. Wow. It's an asset class that's investable. More people want to watch it on TV.
Yeah,
More
it's
people
been a
want to watch
resurrection, I
leagues.
believe.
Like, right, you know, what do you think? What are you guys thinking? What are you hearing?
Yeah, I think it's been a resurrection, really, from the dead. It's been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're doing a great job bringing women right in front of everyone, and the sports, the talent is great, the support is great, and you know, it's funny. I had a talk with somebody last night, and he was a Knick fan and this fan and that fan, and I said, "Are you a WNBA fan?" And he looked at me and he said, "Almost," which was like better than I expected.
Yeah.
So he was able to rattle off some good players' names, and that was that was big for him.
No, it's great. And you know, there's the launch of the new looks like to be our second season of the Professional Women's Hockey League. There's League One volleyball. I got a call about another league. And then, of course, for those of you who are in our markets, we launched on Monday the announcement of the creation of a new women's professional basketball league called the Upshot League. And it's going to be an opportunity for all the talent that doesn't get to play in the WNBA. And actually, and it's not because they're not worthy. There's just not enough jobs to be able to play in markets and become a great community asset and Generation W programming, Generation WOW programming. So it's about upping everyone's shots, from the athletes to the coaches to the front office to the fans. And so we're super excited about that. We'll launch in 26, and I'm sure along the way we'll bring you stories and people involved in it. Word's getting out across the country. People are already interested. Coaches are sending in their resumes. Well, girls want to play. So that's kind of fun. It's really, really kind of fun. So I want to just let everybody know that you'll hear more about that as we move along. Anybody have any comments here about, oh, there you go, Zara. Yes, we're bringing it to Duval. We're going to bring it to Duval, and we're playing here in Jacksonville. The first franchise is in Jacksonville, I should say that. The second one's in Savannah, and the press conference in Greensboro, North Carolina just ended. That's our third franchise, and tomorrow you will learn about our fourth. So it's pretty, pretty exciting. One of my dear friends, by the way, who wasn't a sports person, she was really noted for being a pioneer in cable programming. But from the beginning of Gen W, she's always been there to encourage, to challenge, and to really say, go do this. If you do, I'll be there. And so she was a refresh guest in 2021. We got the chance to show her our Generation W 10 years video. And she had some really great comments. She always does. And this was her reaction to something, by the way, that she helped truly start. And, you know, I think 10 years since we had the conversation, 9 years of Gen W. And if I could, our team put together this really cute video. And I thought maybe I could play it for all of us, if that's okay.
Fantastic. That was spectacular. Oh my goodness. I have to say, I have tears in my eyes.
Actually.
And being at Gen W is this incredible experience because you're filled with joy and justice and tears and laughter. It's such an emotional experience, and it's a real shot in the arm. Can I get that clip to play every morning? That's my refresh.
I am all in with Jerry on playing that clip every morning. I was like, wow, there's so much history there. How'd you guys feel? I'm seeing really great comments too in the chat, right?
I
It's
love
ev-
Choose
it's
Joy.
everything
Joy was
good.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's everything that's good wrapped up in one place, you know. It's so good.
She's an awesome also. She was so
Yeah.
amazing to be with and get her input, and she was great.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And I was hoping, she told me she was going to come this year, and I was hoping that she would, but she promised next year she's going to be out of the country. I can't say enough about her imprint on everything that we've done from the beginning, really from the beginning. And, Jamie, you were there. I mean, you were part of launching Gen Wow when you mentored those young girls on the stage, and, we asked them who they are, what's important to them, and how can we help them. And then Jerry said, whatever you do, dig deep and do it differently, but have impact. And so, like, between the two of you, like, there's just so much history of engagement and support, which actually is really what we want for everyone who's involved with us. I'm just saying, Sherry's giving me, okay, Sherry's giving me advice. Okay, I got it, Sher. All right. Of all the very 100 shows, now just want to let you know, we love music in case you can't tell. I was involved with a group that put me in touch with this Broadway star. I love Broadway. I don't know how many of you do. I'm trying to get my Peter Pan tickets. They're coming to town here. But his name is Telly Luong, and Telly was the star. He launched Aladdin on Broadway. And so we thought, wouldn't it be great? I think this is still during COVID. I'm not sure. If he would come and would he sing for us? Right, Sherry? Isn't that how that went? And I know this is one of Sherry's favorites, and she's going to make sure it's one of our favorites and that we remember it. So this is when Telly Leong came to Generation W Refresh and entertained us.
This song is this is to me, this is like the anthem of Rent, right? But let me move my computer so I can actually play. But I don't know. This song to me is it's No Day But Today, but this song to me means something different this year, just because we're all living through this crazy time. And I don't know, to me, this song is a good reminder to just take it one day at a time.
Okay.
There's only us, there's only this. Forget regret, or life is yours to miss. No other road, no other way, no day but today. I can't control my destiny. I trust my soul. My only goal is just to be. There's only now, there's only here. Give in to love or live in fear. No other road, no other way, no day but today. No day but today. No day but today.
Wow.
It was
Everybody.
an impromptu, but fun. You know, I'm at my piano. Why not?
That's so beautiful about it. But everybody's kind of all teared up. It's there is no day like today.
There's only now, there's only here. And I'm so glad to be with all of you. Now, and you know, the pure wow, right? And I want to go to a Broadway show right now. That's how I'm feeling. Jamie and I know, what's our next show? What are we going to see? But let me just say this, in the true Generation W spirit, you know that we're always going to try to touch your heart. And if tears come, that's okay. That's a good thing. But you know, we're also wanting to make you laugh. And so Sherry, you hit that one right out of the park. Way to go, girl. She wants to bring you back and make you laugh. And she's put together this blooper reel, regardless of how embarrassing it is to me. And Sherry, you're right. I will not say everything about my hair, but who is ever cutting it is no longer cutting it. Here we go.
I am here, but my camera is not working. Okay, I don't know. I think there's something there that's positive. You know, oh my God, there I am being positive. Damn, Donna.
It's good to be here.
Awesome. So let's start off. Did we lose? It's going to be coming back in a second.
Change your mind.
Okay, Sherry, we'll do it one more time. Just keep rolling, okay?
Yeah, and it's gonna be different because I don't know what I said.
It's just life. And guess what? It is chaotic.
Sherry?
Okay, ladies, you're live.
She has dedicated her professional career to help women, their health, sexual fun. Why can't I say this word? Do you think this is Freudian? She's asking for some refresh, and I'll tell you what, she is refreshment personified. Wednesday at noon. Looking forward to spending some time with you. You can say something now.
Oh, for me? Y'all know I'm a police officer. I don't do all this stuff.
That is definitely gonna have to be edited.
Okay, so yeah, it's I guess we didn't give your nugget highlights. We definitely gave your outtake highlights. How about that? Well, listen, let me just say, Sherry, once again, you can just feel your heart, your care, your thoughtfulness. Jamie, Lakisha, any closing comments on celebrating this day, as Telly said, only now, only here, no day but today?
I hope 100 feels this good, and being 100. And Donna, I'm so delighted to be a part of this. Every year, throughout the year, it just brings me incredible motivation and excitement. And I look at these attendees, and it's fantastic how many of us are connected. And I think this is just a fabulous, fabulous way of connecting and being part of a community. So thank you.
No, thank you for being part of it and being such a great contributor. Lakisha, you as well.
That. If I had one word to, describe it, it would be refreshing, right? In so many different ways. I mean, the beautiful diversity and inclusion, the nurturing, safe spaces being created on this digital platform. And lastly, because of the impactful information and inspiration, man, thank you so much and congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to us all, because we're all right. All for one for all. February 12th, put it on your calendar. It's Women and Girls in Sport Day. We'll be celebrating it. We have this fantastic woman. She joined us with our Wow Girls, and I was so impressed. Lauren Kelly, dual sport professional athlete, former Division I athlete, Ivy League graduate, and she currently works in sports media partnerships for this really great startup called The Gist. So we're looking forward to seeing you on the 12th. And if you have not, mark your calendars, but even better, register now for Generation W. Explore. We are going to be explorers together. Speaker lineup, topics, you'll really love it. It's about, I don't know, for me, it's about discovery. It's about adventure. It's about learning. And I think it's going to be really great. So incredible speakers like, Ian B. Craft. And if you want to learn more about AI, this is the place to be. We're actually going to do something for the entire city. This guy, the best I've ever seen. And you've already heard that Dr. Dawn Musalem is going to open us up. So listen, be a great day, worth it. Connect with us when you can. If we can help you, if we can be of service, don't hesitate. Sherry, you are refreshment personified. Super, super, super job. Thank you so much. And to all of you, have a great day, because remember what Telly said. There's no day but today. Bye-bye.